Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I am your stock mentor, Brian Johnson. And today we had, well, an up and a down day. Gapped it up to start the day. Looked like, okay, well, maybe we start something here for the Bulls. I was waiting for some confirmation. I was waiting for some larger lines to get broken before I really started, maybe getting out of some of my short positions or moving into some long positions, something like that. And it never came. It never came. You got to make the market prove it to you guys. This is a fantastic example of what I'm talking about here. So now here we see we had a good gap up, came all the way back up right to this what was the high today? 10,179. So we're talking about 10,200 up in this area. We never made it to it. We never broke it. There was no real reason to get overly bullish on the day. Sure felt like it. Okay, the day starts off with a good gap up. Sentiment is pretty bullish to start the day. But I'm just a little bit more patient than that. I make the markets prove it to me, and it never did. We never saw the major breaks that I was looking for, so I never got long, and I continue to stay short. Now, maybe that changes tomorrow, but as of right now, there is nothing broken from the bear side. Lather, rinse, repeat. Don't you guys get tired of me saying that all the time? Nothing broken from the bear side. So, and there's nothing broken from the bear side. Let's look at the daily chart where we had the big hammer. So we were supposed to go up today, and oh, whoops, that didn't happen. You've got to once again wait for these more major breaks of these overhead. Lots of overhead resistance here, and the bulls, quite honestly, guys, if you watch price action, they're in no big hurry to take over the market again. So being down too far is not a reason to go long. It's not a reason to go long. You really need a more substantial reason to get long this particular market, especially at this time. The trend is strong. It's still strong to the downside. This here is should act as very, very strong support. Now we've tapped on it a few times. Not unlikely that it wouldn't break this next attempt, but we are pretty stretched way down here. Gut would tell me that I would expect this area to hold. Maybe not for a day. We might break below it, close below it for a day, but within a couple days, I think we might come back up and above it. Just seems, after a big extended reach like this, it seems a little bit early to be breaking such major resistance, or major support down here. But I'll be watching this in the future. Now, look, another red candle down today. Big gap up, and we got a push to the upside only to roll over. Look, we didn't make these highs up here. We didn't make this upper resistance here. We didn't make the 200-day moving average up here. We didn't make anything. The bulls aren't doing anything. The bears are still in control in this area. Huge hammer candle. Yes, love that candle. Looks great. Certainly bullish. I mean, a bullish looking candle down here. But take the candles for the context that they're in, and that is it's a potential reversal candle. Didn't see it today. Never got the confirmation. Really would have liked to have seen a push back up and above this area, and we never got it. So it is what it is. Markets continued their march downwards. NDX on a 60-minute also coming up and looking. Oh, look at that. What a beautiful touch of the 50-period moving average. Hope you guys have this stuff in your charts. Got to use it. It's really kind of useful. Pulled right off of it today, started our way back down from that point forward. So the NASDAQ is also in no real shape. What are we doing though? NASDAQ is really in an area of indecision. Down, up, down, no, up, no, down. So maybe tomorrow up? Yeah, could be. It's just a lot of indecision down here. Waiting for more major breaks to take your place either long or short. If you're a swing trader, if you're an intraday trader, you don't mind these kind of moves. As an intraday trader, you just care that it goes someplace. You hate those little days where it just wanders sideways all day long. Ugh, those are terrible. But today, great action. Got a gap up, and we pretty much ran down most of the day. That's great. Great to play. But if you're swing trading, this stinks. This is awful. So once again, we're back below the 200-day moving average, and the NASDAQ looking to keep its head above water one more time. Let's see if it can manage to do it. If not, these lower levels down here, this big green line, this 1725 area is probably a little heavier area. I should maybe darken that line. I'll be looking at that closely. NASDAQ on a weekly, holding on to the 50-week moving average. We move down. This is one to be watching. That's at 1761.60. So mark that on your charts and be watching that closely as we come into the end of the week. SPX on a 60-minute also moving up, pretty much tapping the 50 period, not quite making it, but you can see nothing broken. See, nothing broken up here to the bull side. Man, we had a great gap up. Got up above this blue overhead resistance. Great opportunity for the bulls. What did they do? They did nothing. They sat on it. They just went flat. And now the bear's pulling it right back down. However, this is actually kind of bearish action here. And we're coming back to retest this blue line again. So if there's one thing you want to pull from it on a bull side is that it's coming back to retest this, but it's going to have to hold it, obviously. Maybe roll around and come back up. Then we've got something to talk about. So still watching for a break over 1090. I think that's a good entry to the long side on all of these charts. Let them get back up and over these more major levels. Gap up, run down, same type of thing. Lots of indecision in here on the SPX, just like we're seeing on all the other markets. Major level down here at right around, it's not marked. So what is this, 1055, 1058, somewhere around in this area. Let's call it 1055. I think that's a pretty fair number. Be watching that level as we move towards the downside, maybe into the end of the week. Here we are trying to hold the 50-week moving average on the SPX. If it continues to move down, it could also make it back to these lows of 1040, maybe even back into the 1030 area. Some pretty strong support down here in this area. That's very possible over the next couple of days, depending on, I don't know, maybe economic data or whatever they want to use as an excuse. We're just watching for, once again, those more major levels to break. VIX on a daily, this was up today on the candle and down today overall. So there's an interesting little development, isn't it? So the markets finished lower. The VIX finishes pretty much break even to kind of lower. A little bit of a divergence there. But once again, I'm not going to look at that as, markets are going one way or the other. Let's just look at it in the bigger picture, and that is from a weekly basis. You can see we're still kind of up here in the quote-unquote red area where there's still a lot of fear in the markets. A lot of indecision. Nobody is exactly sure what to feel at this moment. It's one of those awkward moments you have on a first date. Do I kiss her goodbye? Oh, do I wait till the second date? What do I do here? The market's in the same place. Okay, are we scared? Are we not scared? Are we going up? Are we not? Boy, I don't know. We gotta wait and see what happens with Greece, or maybe not. Who knows? It's just there's a lot of indecision up here on the VIX as well, showing that the fear is kind of caught in between everything. However, I will tell you this: when the markets default one way or the other, they'll default to the fear side first. When there's indecision in the markets, they hate indecision, and they will almost always default to the fear side as opposed to the more conservative, well, I'm going to be optimistic and keep my money in type thing. Apple on a 60-minute down $1.11 today. This is chop. Just look at this. Wow, from way back here, it's just down, then it's up, then it's down, then it's up, then it's what?